I'll speak about how I lost my virginity. I don't know. I'll wake up on Wednesday. You know what we're going to call this segment? Relationships Wednesday. We're gonna drink wine. We're gonna dress fabulous, and we're gonna talk about our exes. How does that sound? Good? Good. Cheers. So let's talk about some exes. Oh. Okay. We obviously need wine for this. Whew. So, which ex are we going to talk about today? I have an idea. So, once upon 6 years ago, I think 6 years ago, yeah. So I met this guy. I used to work in 5-star hotel in a small town, and let's call this guy Jay. Jay, okay, yeah. So when I met Jay, he, you know what? No, let's call him. I like. Let's call him Brian. Like that name. Okay, Brian. Let's call him Brian. I think that name fits him. So Brian. So when I met Brian, it was this one evening, and their company had come to the hotel for some events, and I was the hostess. And somehow, him and his friend found my accent funny. Yeah, but somehow my accent was cute to them, and well, I was the hostess, so I indulged them, obviously. And I think we began to talk from there. We talked for a while, and then one time he asked me out because he kept organizing events and they kept coming back. So this one time he asked me out. I was like, why not? I was single, so why not? So one thing led to another, and before I knew it, we were dating, and there was actually nothing to complain about. He was such a perfect gentleman. He used to pick me up from work because I used to work very late sometimes, and to take the company bus would take you like 1 to 2 hours to get to where I used to live, and him picking me meant that I would be home in 20 minutes instead of 2 hours. So that was pretty great. And I know for sure that my friends were very jealous because he had a nice car. It was a company car, but still it was a nice car. And he was very thoughtful all the time. He would take me out to dinner. On my off day, he would pay for a massage for me and him. I was actually living the dream with him, you know. Yeah. So after a while, not a while, like a few weeks, I began to notice few inconsistencies in his stories. You know, like I realized he used to lie about small things. You know, he would say one thing and then I would find out that that wasn't true. But what stood out for me was this one time I had bought this water bottle. It was quite expensive. It was an elaborate water bottle with filter, and it was a good water bottle. So one night when he came to pick me up, Brian, we he dropped me off in my house, and I somehow forgot my water bottle in his car. So when I realized the next morning that, oh God, I forgot my water bottle with him, because I used to take it to work with me. So I was like, ah, okay, he will definitely see it and he will bring it to me. So that night he didn't come to pick me, but he said he was going to pass by later and come and check on me. I was like, okay, but I didn't tell him about the water bottle. I was like, oh, I'm gonna ask him. I think I was busy. I never mentioned it. So later that evening after work, he came by and he was carrying my water bottle in his hands, and I was thinking, oh, he found it. He obviously knows it's mine. Then he's like, hey babe, how are you? I bought you this water bottle. Then I was like, I honestly thought he was joking, you know. I laughed. Then I looked at him and I saw that he was completely serious. I was like, oh, okay. Then it's like, this guy starts teaching me how to use my own water bottle. Like, oh, you see, it has a filter where when you put water and I was like, oh, thank you. Guys, that is me. I don't know how to confront people, or like, and so far he was great, and this side of him I'd not seen before. Like, he was lying to me, like, right on my face. He didn't know that this was my water bottle. He obviously, what annoyed me was like, what if someone else had left that water bottle there, and they had obviously like put their lips and stuff, and he was bringing me this water bottle knowing very well it's not new. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna let this slide. But I'm gonna watch this space also. So okay, so we continued in our fabulous relationship, and the other major thing that happened during the relationship that stands out for me, but it was very loyal, you know, very loyal. Because I remember this one time we went out with my friends, because when we used to plan to go out with my friends, he would come and pick all of us and drop us to the club and make sure that we got home safe. It was that wonderful, guys. But then, wow. Okay, so this one night, there was this friend that she was younger than me, and she had told me a story, and it was quite sad, and I kind of took her as my little sister. But I knew she had a little bit of a crush on my boyfriend. But I was like, you know what, it's okay. I trusted Brian. And guys, let me just say this before I continue. He didn't cheat on me. This girl, like, jumped on him, climbed on him, tried to grind on him, but Brian was like, nope, I have a girlfriend. And I think I decided from there to like be blind to other things because of that particular incident. I was like, oh my God, he's so loyal, you know. And he was like, ah, don't mind her, she's drunk obviously, blah 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 blah. And I was like, okay, oh, it's Mr. Wonderful. Oh my God, I'm so lucky, I'm gonna marry him. Yeah. Anyway, so moving on. So so I used to take my vacations around September, and it was, no, actually around June, July. So I took mine in July, and I knew I was going to go on vacation in August. So on my vacation in July, we decided, oh, why don't we go on vacation together? So we asked for time off, and then we went on this wonderful 2 weeks of vacation, driving to see the wild animals. We went to a lot of places, not a lot, but we were in a lot of these resorts, and it was so nice. But then I realized something, that it got a little bit distant, you know. It was still sweet and himself, but there was kind of distance, like in our intimacy. So I was thinking, you know. Oh, anyway, so I remember particularly one night we had had such a wonderful day, and then we get to our room, and we normally used to like chat before we went to bed, and then but then it was like, no, I don't want to chat. I'm too tired. And he booked a bedroom with twin beds, two beds, and it's like he couldn't find. It was overbooked, so they only had that room, and then he slept. Yeah, and then that night it's like, I think we should sleep separate, and I was like, what? So I remember getting upset. I stomped outside and I spoke to my friend, and she's like, oh, don't worry, just go back and sleep. So I slept, and in the morning he acted like nothing had happened. He was like all sweet and, you know, trying to be like, oh, I wasn't feeling well, blah 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 blah. I was like, okay, I mean, I don't know, like it's been great. I don't know what that was, you know. So anyway, the vacation was amazing, and when we got back, it was time for him to go back to his country. And let me just say, he wasn't like particularly very good looking, but he had this very striking blue eyes, kind of short for me. I try not to judge people on their appearance, but I mean, it was not, it wasn't the type of guy that I would normally date, but he was so thoughtful. So I was like, okay, different is good. So it so when it came to time for him to like go back to his country for the vacation, then, you know, of course there was like a tear here and there, because I'm gonna miss you, 1 month is too long, you know what we you know the one drill. And then I was like, oh babe, it's only 1 month, it's not like I'm going forever. And I was like, yeah, I know, but still, it's a long time. I miss you, I will miss you, blah 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 blah. It's actually really hilarious when I think about it now. Oh my god. Oh, anyway, so he goes on a vacation, and we kept talking every day throughout his vacation, you know. And it was like, oh, I can't wait to see you, I can't wait to come back, I miss you so much, blah 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 blah. Then one time, like when I was going I was coming to the city to see my parents. It was, I think it was 2 weeks after he had left, and then I get a call from this girl who was dating his colleague, and we had gone on a double date at one point. Then this guy is like, oh my god, I'm so sad, my boyfriend is also leaving, I don't know how you did this, I don't know how you're holding up, I'm falling apart. And I'm like, why are you falling up? Like, what do you mean, how am I holding up? It's like, because Brian left. I'm like, yeah, but Brian is coming back in 2 weeks. Then she's like, no, it's not. Then I was like, yes, he is. Then it's like, oh my god, he didn't tell you. And I'm like, what? Then she's like, Brian is not coming back. Like, he was leaving for good. Suddenly, everything started to make sense, because before he left, he brought like a lot of stuff from his house. He gave me his towels, he gave me like his bedside lamp, you know, these small things. And I was thinking, why are you giving me this? You're still going to need this. He's like, no, I'll buy other things, I'll buy other towels when I come back, so it's okay, babe, you can have it. I was like, oh my god, my baby's so sweet. He wasn't coming back. Oh my god. And I'm like, oh, okay, you see, I'm on my way to I'm traveling, can I call you when I get there? Then she's like, okay. Of course, I never called her back. I was devastated. I was like, oh my god, oh my god, what? Obviously, I called him, and it was like, no, I'm coming back. I'm coming back. What do you mean? I'm coming back. Like, I already booked my flights. And you know, this went on for 2 months. No, 2 months. Like 2 weeks. That 2 weeks, but he kept telling me, oh, they want to postpone his flight because he had a problem when he was working here. One of the company vehicles was stolen, and he was in charge of the fleet. So he was like, oh, because they stole a vehicle and it was under me, they are trying to keep me here to do a case that to find out how I let that happen and that and blah and blah. And I was like, okay. And it's like, yeah, I don't know, I really don't know what's gonna happen, it doesn't look good. You know, I still had, I knew, oh my god, women, we always know, but we choose not to. Not to know. But anyway, so finally he's like, oh babe, they've canceled my contract, I'm not coming back. I was like, wow, okay, fine. Still me, I'm not very confrontational. I don't know how to confront people. Oh, I never knew how to confront people before. Don't try that with me right now. I'm gonna call you out on your BS. So then it's like, okay, I'm really sorry, but I'll still try and come back. And I was like, okay, fine. I was okay. It's fine. But anyway, so I stopped talking to him for a while, but we were still friends on Facebook. And then after a few months, I'm seeing him posting pictures with another woman. Obviously, we were not talking much, but I was like, wow, okay, isn't that too soon? And I think it was 5 months, and then they're moving in together with this woman, and they're planning to get married, and I'm like, the audacity. But you know, I'm still a nice Christian girl, so I didn't block him on Facebook or anything. So 8 months later, this idiot, to say the least, calls me up and he's like, oh, hi, how are you? I'm like, I'm okay. Then he's like, are you... I traveled. I obviously left because I didn't want to be in that space anymore. I was like, okay, why don't I take a job in a different country? So I left. Then he calls me, he's like, oh, I'm coming back to Kenya in April, do you want to meet up? I'm like, what? Then he's like, yeah, I want to see you. I was like, oh wow. I just hung up and blocked him on Facebook, blocked him everywhere, and I was like, oh my god, do you think really I was going to fall for another of this bullshit? Like, dude, I'm not that. What? Ugh. Yeah, that was that. So see you next Wednesday when we're going to talk about another ex. Or maybe I'll speak about how I lost my virginity. I don't know. I'll wake up on Wednesday. You know what we're going to call this segment? Relationships Wednesday. We're gonna drink wine, we're gonna dress fabulous, and we're gonna talk about our exes. How does that sound? Good? Good.